Right. Let us now do an exercise. Please forget about the noise that is going on behind in the background. Some fundis are working on something out there, but I'll try and be loud enough and see what we can be able to cover. Remember, you have already created a company. Most of the students who attended that class, the first class on, I think that's the second class on QuickBooks, were able to create a company file. And I hope and pray that the ones who are not able to create a company file will take an opportunity and come early to our class and create a company file. All the machines that are working currently, only 5 machines don't have that QuickBooks, and I'm sure that by the end of this week we'll have all machines installed with the QuickBooks. The institution has already purchased a licensed copy of QuickBooks. So anyway, please make sure that you have created a company file. Today we are going to briefly talk about the interface, the QuickBook home page. Remember, after creating a company file, you are led to a place called the home page, and we are going to talk about the importance of the home page and some of the facilities or the tools that are available on home page. As for me, you can see the interface which is on the screen. I don't have to create a company file, even though I have one. I want to use a sample file. So I will come here and I want to see a sample company file, and it's going to go through a process and create a sample file for me. So you will excuse as it creates a sample file. So this is my company sample file. Now, the sample file already has some transactions that have been captured. It is not completely empty like the new company files that you created. Remember, most of us were not able to create transactions, but this one has transactions that have already been created. You can use the sample file to do some practice. You yourself, the copy of QuickBooks that you have in your machine is able to give you a sample file that you can practice with. Now, let us talk about the home page. This is the home page. This is the QuickBook home page. The home page is just a page which gives you ability to navigate through QuickBooks without having to go into complex mazes and complex places, or try to remember where you want to go, or where something exists, or where a certain tool is. Homepage gives you the most common tools that are available in QuickBooks. So you can use homepage to navigate through the many places that exist in QuickBooks. Now, as you can see in our homepage, I'm using QuickBooks Pro 2016. This is a latest one of the latest version, although I have been able to see QuickBooks 2017, but this is relatively a new version of QuickBooks. Now, you can see on your home page, you know, in the main page here, this is this part I'm calling home, and you can see here it's written home, has 3 main separate segments. You know, it has been segmented, categorized, you know, we can look at this first segment, which they're calling vendors. And remember, vendors are just it's another name for suppliers. So you can see the vendor segment here, and the second segment is the customer segment, and the third segment is the employee segment. There are other sub segments like company here and banking here, and you can see on your left side, on the left side of the screen, another segment with several facilities. We are going to ignore these ones. These ones, we are going to use the main segment, and especially the vendors and the customers. Let me start by the vendors and suppliers. This segment has tools related to suppliers or vendors. You can see the first tool or first icon here on this segment we are calling vendors or suppliers has a purchase order. What is a purchase order? A purchase order is a document that is used to order for goods or services. It is a legal instrument. It's a document. It's legal in nature that business people, enterprises, businesses use to ask for, or to to give an order for goods. So when you raise a purchase order and issue it to a business, issue it to a supplier, issue it to a vendor, in effect what you're saying is, issue me with X quantity of goods at this price on this date. That is a purchase order. So the response from the supplier is that they take this document and select these goods and deliver this good to the person who ordered for the document. Now that is your business. So let us look at a purchase order. I will click here, and a dialog box called Create Purchase Order opens. Remember, you're the one who is issuing an order to a supplier for some goods. So you select your supplier or vendor. In this case, I have so many here. So maybe I'll look for a vendor called a vendor who provides some goods. Remember, this is a sample company. So we will go to Rick's Office Superstore as our vendor. So we have selected Rick to supply us with certain goods. Now look, after we've selected Rick's supplier, we have here a section where it's called class, and you can click on it and see the classes that are available. Rick, the classes that are available is office admin, on-time projects, school, group work, individual consult. We can ignore that part. Drop ship to. Now this also we can ignore, but before we do that, let me explain what that means. We could order goods from Rick office here, Rick Office Supplies, and instead of them coming to our premises or our business, we can order them to deliver to a certain business who is our customer. So Rick doesn't have to bring them to us first of all, and then we deliver to our customer. We can ask Rick to directly deliver to a customer, and this is where we can select that particular customer. In our case, let us keep it simple. We have asked Rick to deliver to us, and then template, we can skip it for now. It is not important to know at this point what this template is, but in a nutshell, a template is, remember, we are going to print a purchase order. We are going to physically print it. So a template is something that has been created to look in a certain way. Remember, we could have our logo placed on this purchase order. We could have certain other special things in our purchase order. So we can create a template that is custom made for us, not just a standard template from QuickBooks, but we can customize our template, or we can customize our purchase order. So template is not very important. Now remember, we are saying that a purchase order is a legal instrument and we are purchasing for good. So it is important to select the correct date. Always ensure that the date selected here is correct. So in this case, it is on that particular day. Every time you raise a document or a purchase order, every time you raise anything, even in QuickBooks, whether it is a purchase order, a receipt, or an invoice, it will always give today's date as the default date. It will look at the time here on our taskbar and then place the same date here in our purchase order or in our receipt or in our invoice. So that's where it's important to note, because sometimes you might be raising that purchase order, but you don't want to indicate today's date because you don't want it to be delivered today. Maybe you raise that purchase order maybe after 3 days, so you could select, you know, ahead. Maybe you want you were supposed to raise it a week ago, but you forgot to raise it and you just made a telephone call, and now Rick is telling you, look, give us a purchase order even after they have delivered. So it's important to note the date. So I've changed the date to reflect that change so that I can show you that the date can be changed. You can change the date. Now remember, our supplier is Rick. The moment we select Rick's name, it appears here because those details have been entered already. Now it's saying ship to Pro Hockey School. Remember, our company file is also called Pro Hockey School. So they are shipping these goods to us. Then we select an item that Rick sells. So we could select hockey sticks. So Rick sells hockey sticks, and then maybe we select a quantity, maybe 1,500 hockey stick. Now this particular equipment does not have a price. We can place our price here. We call Rick, we ask him, how much are you selling it to us? He says, I will sell it at $189 per stick. So we put there, and it is the item cost changed. You have changed the cost of hockey stick. Do you want to update the item? No. You just say no. So customer, well, we don't have to put a customer here. So we have selected it. These are items not for resale. These are items meant for use in our own business. So we don't have to select a customer. See, now what it has done, this purchase order is multiplied the quantity by the rate and given us the total. So it simplifies your work. And all you now need to do, if you don't have another item that you are selecting from Rick, say for example, if you was selecting another item, maybe this you want to order for several other items, all you need to do is to go to the next line, click on it, and select something else. Maybe you want replica uniforms, maybe kitchener blades. Select that one. This already has a price. All you need to do now is enter the quantity, and the moment you enter quantity, it does the total calculation for you, and it also gives you the total of all the items that you have ordered Rick store or office supplies. Now once you're done with that, all you need to do is you save and close. You can save and close or save and new, meaning save and close will close this purchase order. But when you select save and new, it means that you'll be entering another purchase order, maybe to Rick or maybe to another person or another supplier. But in this case, we just want to issue, or we just want to raise one purchase order. So I will say save and close. Now a pop-up appears on the screen, a dialog box appears on the screen. So it's asking me items not assigned classes. I will save it anyway. I do not want to assign a class to it, so I say save it. Now that is the first step in this facility called vendors. Remember, we said that we have several segments. We have actually 3 segments. The first one being vendor, the second one being customer, the third one being employees. We are here on the vendors, and we are seeing several items in this vendor segment. So we are working with the vendors for now. Now after we have done a purchase order, remember that this purchase order is a legal instrument. It is a legal document. Some businesses use purchase orders, some don't use purchase order. They just call you and ask you, unaweza leta keki 10? Okay, sawa, kuja nazo tutakulipa. That is a purchase order, but it is a verbal purchase order. It's not written anywhere. But you could also issue a document called a purchase order. Maybe you call and then send the purchase order, maybe using an email, or maybe you can send a messenger. Now once you have done the purchase order, if at all your business deals with purchase orders, the next stage is to receive inventory. Remember, purchase order, you are ordering for goods. Then once you order for goods, the supplier delivers. You want to record each transaction. The first transaction, make an order. Second, receive goods. You want to ensure that you have received the goods that you ordered for, the quantities, at the date, and also at the rate that you agreed with your supplier. So you come here and click receive inventory. Now when you select receive inventory, there are 2 ways you can receive that inventory. You can receive inventory with a bill, or receive inventory without a bill. Let us first of all receive inventory with a bill. What is a bill? A bill is a document that has been raised by a Rick or our supplier to us, demanding for payment for goods they delivered to us. Remember, we ordered the goods, they deliver the goods, and then they give us a document called a bill that we have delivered these quantities of good at this price, right? So we receive those goods plus a bill. Now we select that one. Now this is the bill that they have brought to us, right? This bill is a demand for payment, either in cash or in credit. So they send a bill to us, then so we receive. So we look at that bill and we want to record that bill. Our vendor is Rick Supplies. So we look for Rick's Office Superstore. Here he is, right? So the moment we select Rick, QuickBooks remembers and asks us, open purchase order that exists for this vendor. Do you want to receive one or more of these orders? We say yes. We want to, remember this is the one, it was purchase order number 3. So we select it, and then we say okay. Higher. So yes, I remember the quantity was 200 and the total was 283,000. So the moment we select that and we have selected the appropriate appropriate purchase order, then we can say save and close. Then again it's asking us about the class. We don't it's not necessary to know about the class, so we say save anyway. So we have received inventory plus a bill. We have received the physical inventory that we ordered for, and accompanying the physical stock of goods that we ordered for is inventory. Is a bill. So we received hockey sticks and we received razors, and then a bill accompanying those things. Now remember, this thing is logical. We started from purchase order, we go to receive inventory, and then now we enter bills, and you can see there's an arrow. Now in this case we don't need to enter bills against the inventory because we already entered it here. If you want to see, just click open and see. And even you select, you can even start typing Rick's Office Superstores. You know, nothing will appear here because we have already received. We have already received the bills. So we skip this section because we have received the bill. You shall see that the other one we shall do, which is here, we said the first one we said receive with bill and without a bill, and you shall see you can differentiate what you can tell what's the difference between the two. So now we say we skip because we already received with bill. Now so we come here, we say pay bills. Now why have we said we pay bills? The reason why we've said pay bills, or the reason why we are at this point, is remember all we have done is receive. We have received goods from Rick, and we have received a bill from Rick. We haven't paid. So now here we want to pay. So we click on this one, click on it, and all these are bills. They're unpaid bills, but we want to pay Rick. And you see, you look for Rick here, and I can see already here, and I select it. I want to pay. I want to write one check for that particular supplier. I ensure that that amount, this is the total amount for outstanding for all the suppliers, but I want to pay Rick only, right? And the total is 360. So I select him here, and then I just make sure that everything is okay. I don't want to go bill. I don't want to set discount because we have not negotiated for any discounts. I don't want to set any credits for that. The payment date, I can change the payment date. I can say I'll pay Rick at the 30th. Yeah, and then the method is through check. Yeah, it's through check. I could also select cash, but I want in this case to select through check, and it will be printed. It will be printed, yeah, or I say assign a check number. Yeah, So the account is remember we have created accounts. So I say checking account, and this is negative 200, and because we have overdrawn on that account. That account doesn't have that money, but in this case we just assume that it is okay. So we say pay selected bills, right? Higher, assign check numbers. A dialog box pops up, and a payment account is the checking, which is what is here. And then how do you want to assign check numbers? Let QuickBooks assign check numbers. Let me allow QuickBooks to assign check numbers so that I don't have to do it. Higher, and then I say okay. So now payment summary is that, payment date is that, remember we said 30th, payment account is checking, and the payment method is check, and then the check number has been assigned as 135. Date due is that, the vendor is Rick, and the amount paid is that one. So when I am done and I am satisfied, this is the amount I'm paying or writing a check for, I say I'm done. Now that is the first process. That's on the vendor side. Remember that we started with a purchase order, we went and received inventory, and in that case we received an inventory with a bill. We skipped enter bills because the bill was already entered at the second process, which is receive inventory, and now we paid the bills. Let us do another exercise on the vendor segment also, but in this case we are going to select the second option, which is receive inventory without bill. So let us go to purchase orders again. Let us select a different vendor. Let us look for a vendor who sells Fisher Supplies. Let us look at Fisher Supplies. Yeah, again we skip class and we skip ship to. Class has those options: office admin, one-time project, school. Maybe you can put school, yeah, so that we don't have this pop-up that keeps coming and is very annoying. Higher, this one again, we don't want, remember, we don't want these goods to be shipped to our customers. We want them to be delivered to us or shipped to us, right? Higher, template again we ignore. So we are going to look at the items that this particular supplier sells. So let us select mini load Stanley Cup. That's a type of a cup, a trophy. So we select that one. It's a silver cup. The rate is at 40, maybe 100 pieces, and that's it. It's 4,000. Let's just simplify it. Let us not select another item. So it is 4,000 total, but this one there is a discount. Not really. This is not a discount. This is there is some items that have been added here. I am not very sure what they are for. Maybe you can change that item to make it a bit easier. Maybe they also sell let us look at other quantities, not fixed asset. Replica uniforms. Yes, replica uniforms, quantity, rate at 100, right? It tells us we have changed. We don't want, do you want to update? No, we say no. So we have 10,000 here. And then that purchase order is done. We have requested them to deliver 100 of replica uniforms, and now we say save and close. Once we are satisfied, we have checked our dates are correct, the rest is correct, and then we say save and close. Now at some point in the future we receive inventory, so we'll receive inventory, but now in this case without a bill. So we're just receiving the items. Who was let's just see, let's just clear this, and we just clear again, clear. Let us close it here. we made a purchase order to, let us look at the Fisher Supplies. Fisher Supplies. So here we're going to receive from Fisher Supplies, isn't it? So we just start typing Fisher Supplies and it is brought there. And then it asks us to open purchase orders that exist for this vendor. And we say, yes, open purchase orders. Remember, this is the purchase order, including the purchase order number. I select it and I say, okay. We had ordered for 100 at a cost of 100. It was 10,000, which is okay. And then, so this is just receiving an item. We are receiving physical goods. There is no bill accompanying it, right? Look, if we want to say, hey, there's a bill, we would have to select here. It's a shortcut here. We select it, and then now the bill appears underneath here. Yeah. Without that selected, there is no bill. Notice what has happened. There's no bill. Here there is a bill. Here there is no bill. Where is the bill again? See, let us see what is changing. There is no bill. That is no bill. And here there is a bill. Look at this part, the item receipt. You can see terms of payment appears, bill due date for the bills. See, this one was not there, but now when we say bill received, it appears on your screen. Yeah. Other than that, so we are going to assume there is no bill that came. So we save and close. That we received inventory only. But now we want to enter bills against an inventory. Remember that inventory is just quantities of goods that have come and they don't have a document. They don't have a document. We have counted. We call our Fisher Supplies. We tell them, oh yeah, we have received 100. Can you send us your bill? Then they send the bill. We receive that bill. We remember our supplier is Fisher, and it just comes. I received items, bill to follow. You see? So we select that one, and then we say okay. So the bill now appears. Remember now, this one is similar to the one we were saying. We were selecting something here, bill received. So this comes there. The terms are net 30. Net 30 means that pay within 30 days. Otherwise, we are going to charge you a fee, an interest for staying too long with our money. So anyway, so this is the bill, and then we say save and close. You have changed the transaction. Do you want? Yes. I say yes. So we started here, purchase orders. We have received inventory from our supplier. Then we have entered a bill. Now we want to pay a bill. Now you can see the arrow coming this way logically, coming down here and going to pay bills. Now come sometime in the future, we say, oh, let's just clear our bills with Fisher and Rick Supply. So we click here, and well, Rick we had paid. So remember, Rick we had paid. So it is only Fisher whom we have not paid. So we select that one. And then after we have satisfied with all these other places, we look at the payment date. This is very important. How we paying that nini? Maybe this one could pay in cash, right? And then we say pay selected bill. Then you can see the summary payment or payment summary is the date, payment account we are using the checking account, and payment method we are using cash because maybe it's little, and then we can say done. So you see now the difference between those two methods. Yeah, so we said the only difference is there are some items that come with a bill and there are some items we order that come without a bill. So you treat them differently depending on how those items were delivered. Now we have done the main or major things in this vendors or suppliers segment, right? Now the next segment is customers, but before we go to customers, let us just review what we have learned. We start with a purchase order. We say it's a legal instrument. ordering for goods or services. Sometimes some business have purchase orders. Many big business have purchase orders. Obviously, government institutions have purchase orders. You cannot call for items to be delivered to your workplace without a purchase order. Then we went to receiving, because once you order, now you wait to receive the goods that you've ordered for. Then we entered the bills against the inventory that was delivered. And finally, we paid bills. We paid bills from here. Now, since this is understandable and is a simple process, let us look at one other place. Enter bills and see what this means, right? So, enter bill. Why enter bill? I will explain why. Remember, we said there are some businesses that use this process. You make a formal application, a formal order, a paper, an instrument called a purchase order. Then you receive inventory. Then you enter bills. What if your business does not use those formal methods? You're a small businessman, and all you need to do is to just pick up your phone and make an order for certain goods. You can use the same process, but now underneath here. So you make an order on form. You don't have to record the date, or you don't have to write anything down. All you do is you select your vendor. You select your vendor, right? And you select the items that you want them to deliver to you. You know, something like that. And then you say save and close. So we have Bank of Royals as our vendor, and we are satisfied with all these other details. We have quantity, maybe 11 pieces, right? And so the amount is 1650, and that is Bank of Royals as a vendor. We say save and close. One or more items have not been assigned a class. Let us assign a class. Remember about classes. I don't see it here, but it's okay. We can skip that part. We can just save anyway. And then we come and pay bills. Royal. Remember, it was something royal. Bank of Royals, this one. So we select Bank of Royals. I don't think there's any other Bank of Royals. It's the only one. And we pay in cash using this account, and say select pay bills, and then we say done. So you can use this lower process to capture those transactions that do not necessarily use purchase orders. These are just simple transactions. You order, you enter bills, and then you pay bills. That's it. So I hope that has explained what this vendor segment means. The next video we'll talk about customers. Thank you.